people, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 31, the third episode of our second season of the Pit Stop Lounge. And we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. Bro, it's good to have you back. First of all, we missed you the last episode. How are you?
First of all, bro, much love. Thank you for having me as always.
Yeah.
Second of all, it is good to be back. I was going through a bit of a personal issues of my own, so apologies for the inconvenience caused. And thirdly, thankfully, I'm in a better place at the moment. I'm doing well. Hope you are too.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is not the best episode to come
Yeah,
back to.
100%.
This is not. This is
No.
not it, chief. But
I'm
anyways,
I'm the complete
how are you,
opposite.
man?
I'm the complete opposite though.
No,
No.
you have every right. You have every right with how the season's going. Whatever.
No,
You, how are you, man? You
No, I'm
good?
good. Just came back from a run, so that felt great. Had a really long day, but yeah, I mean it's always nice to record to make a brand new episode of this podcast, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We have a jam-packed episode today, as always, guys. But before we begin, make sure to follow us on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Especially if this is your first time listening to this podcast. If you don't know what this podcast is about, it's called the Pit Stop Lounge. Talk about Formula One, what happens on the racetrack, on the paddock, and even outside of it, talk about breaking news, what happened, and the latest news of the track. And for our Spotify listeners, make sure to hit with that rating and let us know your thoughts on each poll we publish on every single episode. And with that, let's get into today's episode. But we know, bro, we have obviously Shanghai to talk about, and we also have your predictions. But unfortunately, we're going to have to start with some sad news, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because last week it was a pretty difficult week for the entire sport because we lost a pretty significant figure
We
in
lost
the
the pioneer,
sport.
bro.
Yeah, we lost a pioneer, and that man is unfortunately Eddie Jordan, who has sadly died at the age of 76 after a long battle with an aggressive prostate cancer. He had kept this news pretty much under wraps. There was a time, bro, he was in the Formula One paddock regularly. He was making press
Yeah, he was
interviews
in the
after the race.
broadcast. Yeah, he was in the broadcasting team, asking questions to drivers and such. The whole 9 yards.
Now, obviously, guys, for those of you who don't know who Eddie Jordan was, he was the team principal of his racing team, Jordan Racing. His team made its debut in 1991. It won 4 Grand Prix in its 15 years in the sport. And they also made a brief challenge for the Drivers' Championship back in 1999, but that was obviously won by Mika Hakkinen with the McLaren. But unfortunately, their team ended up suffering from declining fortunes and was sold in 2005. But he was also known for his outspoken and free going personality, bro, and that was recognized with the sport. Now, bro, we didn't manage to see this guy because we were born pretty much in that time where Jordan was at its peak. But sad news, bro. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely sad because, just like I said, bro, he was a pioneer. And I remember his Jordan team, yeah, back in the first time I seen the Jordan livery is when I started to watch Formula One. And I seen that Jordan livery. I
Yeah,
remember that livery where there was the shark with the on the nose, that little shark livery or something like that on the nose. You remember that?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I was a big fan of that. I was a really big
It was
fan,
a
and I
sexy
was a,
livery, to be fair.
it was. They used to come up with great liveries. Apart from that atrocious 2005 one, and
Yeah,
even 2004. But other than those, they were a pretty prominent team. And just like you said, in '99 they mounted up a title charge, but unfortunately they never won anything. But they were an integral part of the sport. Eddie Jordan was even more so an integral part of the sport. And I just read today that he actually sold it to the Midland Group in 2005.
yeah, exactly.
It was to the Midland Group, and he actually helped negotiate Adrian Newey's move to Aston Martin.
Yeah, exactly.
I
100%.
I just saw this today, and other than that, it is very sad. I'm very sad, just like you are, bro. Just
Yeah,
like everyone is for the loss of
yeah.
Eddie Jordan. May he rest in peace, and Godspeed. bro.
Yeah, first things first, wearing yellow, for those who are watching on YouTube, wearing yellow in tribute to Eddie Jordan's team. No, bro, I mean, for me, it's similar comments. He would be severely missed into the sport. And I think an underrated aspect about Eddie Jordan was the drivers he had under his caliber. This guy had Heinz Harald Frentzen, Eddie Irvine, as such drivers. The list of drivers was really impressive stuff. And yeah, sad miss as well. I remembered him making the interviews back in early 2010 and early 2010. And I was always used to look forward to his interviews because he used to always make them entertaining and fun for the audience to listen to. And it's a sad miss. And I was wondering why was he absent throughout the paddock, and now we can see why, unfortunately. So yeah, sad miss.
We've actually known that for quite a while, unfortunately.
Yeah,
It
but he
wasn't it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Yeah, sad. No.
Unfortunately, that's the truth about it.
So yeah, may he rest in peace. He will be severely missed into the sport,
Absolutely, man.
and his Jordan team, and his team, while not the most competitive team out there, it will be one to remember 100% for sure.
Absolutely. They were always one. They were always a team to remember, bro.
Yeah,
Just like I said, they were an integral.
exactly.
They're integral part of the sport.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. So yeah, that is it about Eddie Jordan's maybe a little bit of a tribute to Eddie Jordan, bro. Why don't you mention your predictions very quickly
Yes,
before we get
because
into the weekend?
I didn't have a chance to mention my predictions. Now I have a chance. Thank you for that, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't have much to say about my predictions because my predictions are, in terms of constructors, I'm gonna go with how they finished last year, with the exception of Mercedes leapfrogging Red Bull.
So that would be talking about third place, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm go at the top five. I'm gonna go with um McLaren first, Ferrari second. Somehow I don't know how they're gonna manage, but
It's
somehow.
not looking good so far, bro. That second place.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll get to that. Third Mercedes, fourth Red Bull, and fifth Aston Martin.
yeah, mine are very. I think mine are very similar. Just the only difference is that Red Bull are in third and Mercedes are in fourth. I also predicted that Haas would finish bottom. That's not looking good right now, is it, bro?
Absolutely.
I mean after this
I,
weekend
I don't
specifically.
know, how did you go with Sauber last?
No, the reason,
Respectfully,
no,
I don't know how.
the only reason why I went with Sauber is because of Nico Hülkenberg, because they have a fantastic driver there, and Haas have
Yeah, but last year they
they
also
have a
had
look.
Valtteri Bottas, bro. And
But listen,
Bottas is good.
yeah, but I think Hülkenberg in terms of qualifying
But
specifically was more consistent. I would say, but I don't know. I mean that's a bit of a how there from me.
yeah, and Bottas is a proven race winner.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean we're still only 2 races in, bro. So
A
anything
lot
can
can
turn.
happen. A lot
A
can
lot
happen.
can happen.
Listen, last year we went horribly wrong on our predictions. Let's not
Not
forget.
all of them. Not all of them, though. There were some we got them spot on. There were a few where we absolutely howled it 100%. But there were most of them we got them right. To be honest.
Listen. At least we got the championship winner right last year.
Yeah, but I mean that was not that was a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest.
It was closer than we thought. So with that being said, coming into the championship winner.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you, bro, who was gonna win the championship this season?
From the looks of it, actually, I don't want to go for the looks of it. I'm gonna say this how I felt even before the first race started. I'm gonna go with Lando Norris. I believe he can do it this year, bro.
Fairs.
I really believe that if Lando Norris can really do it this year. From the first two races, McLaren looked like they have the car, they have the team. I believe that they can go for it.
Yeah, for me, I also predicted that
He's
Lando
gonna
would.
face some stiff competition, but I
Yeah.
think Norris is gonna pull through. That's
Yeah,
my prediction.
I also went with Lando as as the one who's going to win the drivers' championship. But listen, we're still a long way to go, so anything can happen. But from the looks of obviously, I'm going to get to my team when we talk about the Grand Prix very soon, the Grand Prix weekend as in. It looks very promising at the moment that we're going to have a big chance for both the constructors and the drivers' title.
Listen, though,
I wouldn't count
anything can
Piastri
happen
out,
still.
bro.
No, I
wouldn't
will
count
count.
Piastri out as well. But from the looks of it, I think Lando, this might be his year. If he continues to be consistently mature with every single race, I think this would be his year. I think that he'll cement himself as a world championship as
Hopefully.
being champion. So
Hopefully,
And
hopefully,
with that, guys, let us get into today's episode. We have the Shanghai Grand Prix to talk about, bro. Um, Now, bro, the first race was absolute chaos, and
Yeah,
the
it was.
second, and
So
this,
sorry if you're seeing me like this, bro, but I
y-
have every reason to.
listen,
So apologies.
understandably so, because because your weekend started out promising, but ended in absolute disaster. We're gonna get obviously to
We're
why
gonna get to that. We're gonna
later
get to
on.
that.
Now, bro, I think you've watched the first race, yeah,
I've
in
seen,
Melbourne.
I've seen some bits. Yes, I've did.
It was a very chaotic race,
Absolutely.
in true Melbourne style. This one, not so much. Obviously, the sprint we also have the sprint race, which was also not the most spectacular of our races, but
There was some great overtaking. There was some great overtaking. There was some
yeah,
really good overtaking going on. I mean, there's
yeah,
place to overtake. So
yeah, exactly. So we're obviously gonna start. Obviously, since we have the sprint race to talk about, guys, we're gonna be starting out with the sprint qualifying. We're gonna get to that very quickly. Then we're gonna talk about the
quick
sprint
question: what
race.
do you think about Shanghai, bro?
I think I said it last year, bro, with Shanghai. Listen, it's a
I forgot, but
um,
sorry, but I forgot.
but I can give you my thoughts on it. Listen, it's a traditional circuit in the entire sport, but it's not one of my all-time favorites, if I'm going to be
Same.
completely honest. But listen, it's it has its fans. It's been there for a very very long time now, with the exception of that brief spell during the pandemic. But not one of my all-time favorite tracks.
Same. Same.
What do you think?
Same thoughts, to be honest, bro. Same thoughts. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the circuit. I mean, it. I like the long back straight. I do
Yeah.
like that, where you could really unleash the speed of the car. But other than that, I don't really. I'm not a big fan of the elevation changes on it.
Yeah,
There's too much elevation change.
I
I'm not
agree.
a big fan of it.
No, I
But
agree.
anyways,
I agree. So,
at least it's a proper racetrack. So
no. I'm not saying it's not a proper racetrack, but just comparing it like to the other races throughout the entire season, I wouldn't rate it as one of my
there's
all-time
better.
favorites. There are better tracks, yeah,
There
for
are
sure.
better.
But anyhow, with that out of the way, guys, let's start with sprint qualifying. We're gonna start with who got knocked out in the first part of sprint qualifying. Bro, we're gonna have to start with the one who came rock bottom, Liam Lawson, or should I say,
Woo!
Liam Slowson, bro, because
Oh,
this guy's future. I mean, he had a torrid weekend last weekend in Melbourne, but even this was the same, if not even worse, bro. I mean, his future looks already in doubt heading into Suzuka. What do you think?
listen, bro. When the Liam Lawson news broke out that he's gonna join Red Bull instead of Sergio Perez, I was the first, along with you and along with
Yeah,
many others, that that seat should have been Sonoda's.
100%.
But all of us decided to give, you know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him have his chance. Let's give him a shot. See how it fares. These first two races, boy, oh boy,
And it showed it right
it
from sprint.
oh my god, man. From Australia to now, oh my god, it's been disastrous for Liam Lawson.
Bro, he looks very, very nervous driving the car, unlike Max. And he just
That
doesn't
car,
have the feel of the car, 100%.
that car is sorry, apologies, pardon me. The
Don't
car,
worry, don't worry.
the car, that car is pure purposely built for Max Verstappen.
I agree, 100%.
Purposely built. There's no way, and I believe there's this rumor going around that Tsunoda is going to replace Liam Lawson. There are fears that Tsunoda might also struggle, just like Lawson is.
It could be a possibility as well, bro. But listen, we saw Liam Lawson last year with Racing Bulls. He looked okay at driving
He
the
looked
car. So
decent.
I don't know. Maybe he's not
Is the
Red
Red
Bull
Bull
worthy.
that much? Is that Red Bull that much of a monster to drive?
Because that second seat, it's like a
It's
poison chalice.
cursed.
It's like a poison chalice, bro. I mean, and it's been for the past couple of years. We see it with Pierre
Since
Gasly, Alex
2018.
Albin, who
Since
was Sergio
2018.
Checo as well last year. I
Ever
don't know,
since
bro.
ever since Danny Rick left.
Yeah, 100%.
2018.
And listen, and originally Liam Lawson qualified 16th, so he would have still got knocked out, but his lap time was so. It was so slow, bro. I mean, a 132.729. I mean, this guy was even slower than the Saubers, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was a tenth
that's saying
slower.
something. I mean, that's
A tenth
saying
slower.
something as well. And speaking of Sauber, bro, those who also got knocked out in Q1, qualifying one with Liam Lawson. We've got Nico Hülkenberg with the Sauber, Esteban Ocon with the Haas, and the two Alpines with Pierre Gasly and Jack Doohan in 16. Alpine also are not having the best this entire season, and it started from the sprint qualifying all the way to the entire race weekend. So
Listen, they started the season just like last season.
yeah, I think they are a little bit unlucky because I mean, one of the cars got crashed out in Australia. That was Jack Doohan, obviously. So
Yes,
I think the
unfortunately for
car.
him, the homeboy.
I think it's not as bad as last year, but it's still underperforming from their
Yeah,
standards
yeah.
based on how they
Listen,
ended last season.
listen. They ended the way they ended last season is thanks to that lucky result in Brazil
That purple patch form from Pierre Gasly as well. Yeah, 100%.
as well. But that result in Brazil, that's what helped them, bro. That
Yeah,
lucky result in Brazil. And practically, Alpine this season are just like last season, maybe a bit better, maybe a bit, but they're just like last
slightly,
season at the moment.
slightly better.
So what I'm really impressed though
Yeah,
is at the moment, even though he's been very unlucky with what happened to him in his first race, but I loved his bounce back mentality, and that is we're getting into Q2. That is Isaac Hadjar, bro.
yeah, but unfortunately he got knocked out. I believe he had a DNF throughout sprint qualifying too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Huh?
No, sprint qualifying. No, sprint qualifying too. No, he got into Q2.
Ah, okay.
He got into Q2, but he did get knocked out. He got DNF'd.
Yeah,
But at the moment, I'm loving his bounce back ability with Isaac Hadjar. I'm pretty impressed. I saw him in the sprint and also in the race. He was very decent, and I loved how he handled the car.
and
He was almost on par with Sonoda.
and listen, that might have been. I mean, that what happened in Melbourne, unfortunately, in the warm up throughout
So
before the
unlucky.
race. That must have been so hard on him. By the way,
Absolutely.
what a fucking scumbag Helmut Marko is. By the way,
Fuck
I
him.
mean,
Fuck him. Yeah.
fuck that guy, man, because
Fuck him.
he just
Fingers
cannot.
up.
For
Birds up.
those who don't know, by the way, Helmut Marko
Fuck Helmut Marko.
just called Isaac Hadjar a crybaby just because he cried after he got after he got
Unreal, bro.
after he got
Unreal.
out of the race from the warm up. I mean, must have been super unlucky to what have
In a
happened
world, in a world
in your
filled,
debut.
in a world filled with Helmut Marcos, be an Anthony
Be an
Hamilton.
Anthony Hamilton. Yeah, I was actually gonna get to him, bro, because at least he was the man he is. He actually consult him as soon as he got stepped out of the
As he
car.
should
So
have.
at least he got credit. But no, um, that must have been a really tough moment for Isaac Hadjar. But at least now he looks like he's bouncing back from the car. He's still not 100% there yet, but he looks like
Way
he's
better than Lawson.
way better than what Liam Lawson is doing at
I'm
the
very
other team.
impressed. I'm
But
very impressed.
I'm impressed.
And
Yeah, same here.
I'm also impressed at the moment with Gabriel Bortoletto.
I was actually gonna get to him, bro. I mean, listen, with that Sauber, that's like the second time he got that's like back to back into
Q
Q2.
twos.
Obviously, not too surprised he got knocked out there, but listen, he's a Formula 2 champion for a reason. This ain't no fluke. So at the moment, he's looking. I mean, I said last season that Sauber is a good fit for a driver like Gabriel Bortoleto, and he's showing that right now. Listen,
I agree.
we're not expecting him to get into the top 10 places at the moment, but at least he is getting the feel of the car, he's getting the feel of the sport, and at least he's getting himself into those Q2 phases. He might not be
Yeah.
showing it all the way, but at least he is getting there.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with Bortoletto. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed with him.
The same, however, can't be said so much about Carlos Sainz, bro. In 13th, and it's a shame. And
That's my
apparently,
man's. Listen, Carlos Sainz, he's still my man's, bro.
yeah,
He's still my man's.
same. He's
And
our former boy, so
he still and he'll always be my man's. He's been very unlucky. He's been very unlucky at the moment with Williams, but it's expected. But as much as he's been unlucky with Williams, Williams have already reached their points tally from last season in just 2 races.
with
Bro.
just Alex Albon, yes. But with Carlos Sainz, apparently the reason why he's underperforming at the moment is because he's using the chassis from last season,
Yeah.
unlike his teammates. So that explains it. Listen, as just very similar to Bortoletto, this guy, he needs the time. He needs the time, he needs the patience, because going from Ferrari to Williams, there's like a massive gap in
That's
quality
a
there.
downgrade.
So, unfortunately, I feared that Sainz was going to struggle with the Williams. But listen, we're still early on. There are still a couple, way more races to go. So, bro, Oliver Berman in 12th,
Very impressed at the
with the
moment as
Haas,
well.
and that was the start of of an excellent weekend for Oliver Berman, because what happened in the race was even better. Um, listen,
Ollie Behrman, bro, another rookie.
and one of your boys as well, Ferrari.
That's my man's as well. Like, that's my guy, Ollie Behrman. Absolutely impressed with him, especially this last weekend. Very, very
And
good.
unlike some rookies like Jack Doohan in particular, he's quickly settled in the sport. Now, obviously, he took part in 2 races last season, but he's still a rookie. Let's be honest now. So,
Bro, let's be real. The worst one. I mean, can we count Lawson as a rookie?
nah, he's not really a rookie, Liam Lawson, because he
We can't
won
really
a couple
count
of
him,
races
bro. We
last
can't.
season, so we can't
At the
really count
moment,
him.
all of the rookies at the moment, to me, they're impressing. The least one is
Not
Jack Doohan.
not last race though. Last race it was a really
No,
tough weekend for the rookies.
for the first. No, listen, it was, but the least of the rookies is Jack Doohan.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
the others, they've been very good at the moment. Long way to continue.
The best one is 100% Kimi Antonelli.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That's number one.
That race in Australia,
Yeah,
wow. From
impressive.
P16 to P4, amazing.
Very
But
impressive.
we'll get to him.
Yeah, 100%. So, Oliver Berman in 12th, the 2 Aston Martins with Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll in 11th and 10th. A bit better, to be honest.
Listen. Stroll has out-qualified Alonso in the sprint quali and the quali.
That was not on our bingo card.
I think Stroll this year, I don't know. Even in Australia, he did go pretty well, didn't he?
Oh, it's early.
Is this Lance Stroll's villain arc, bro?
Oh, it's early. That's early. It's early. That's early, bro. We're talking about Lance Stroll, bro. Not like fucking Pierre Gasly, for example.
Is this Lance Stroll's villain arc?
We'll wait and see for that.
I don't know, man. These 2 races, I've been scratching my head. I'm going like, yo, where
Listen,
does this pace
like
come
what he
from?
said, in Drive to Survive. Diamonds are made under pressure. So we'll wait and see. We'll see.
We'll see. He said with a squeaky voice, didn't he?
Yeah, I have no intentions of doing an impression of that voice, bro, because it was so
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try myself. I'm gonna try it myself.
Oh god, here we go.
Diamonds are made under pressure.
Oh no. 10 out of 10 for effort. 10 out of 10 for effort. Anyhow, Alex Albon in 9th. What a start to the season this guy is having, bro. I mean, we obviously we'll get to the race very, very soon, but wow. I mean, compared to last season, it's like it's night and day, bro.
Not surprised.
And we all thought that Carlos Sainz was going to take leadership over Alex Albon. It's not looking the case right now at the moment with how Williams have started their season.
Listen, with Carlos Sainz's addition, it's only gonna further Alex Albon. At last, Alex Albon doesn't have dead weight, a teammate that is dead weight. Ignore Colapinto. Colapinto wasn't. But with Logan Sargent, let's be real, bro.
And Latifi as well.
Latifi, I forgot about Latifi.
Go Latifi.
Like, he doesn't have a dead weight of a teammate with him.
I think, and sorry to interrupt you, and I think it's about time that he deserves a challenge with the team he's at the moment. So,
and Alex Albon is right at home with Williams.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. Yuki Tsunoda in 8th with the Racing Bulls. He could be a Red Bull driver coming to Suzuka, but we have to wait and see with that. I will obviously speak about that a lot later on this episode. But yeah, listen, no surprise with Yuki. I mean, last season he started on strong form, and looks like this season he's repeating the same formula. So not surprised that he's in P8. Impressive stuff for Yuki Tsunoda. Kimi Antonelli in 7th with the Mercedes. Listen.
Okay.
But listen, he's a rookie, so I'm not gonna go too hard on him. So.
But so far, so good for Antonelli.
100%. 100%. Lando Norris in 6th. Now, Lando was a bit unlucky because he had to abort his flying
Yes.
lap. He had to abandon his flying lap, so that pushed him all the way down to 6th place, which was a bit unlucky for him.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm not gonna go again. Just like Antonelli and with Yuki, not gonna go too harsh on him because these things happen, unfortunately, in the qualifying. So yeah, unfortunate for him. And the top 5 goes something like this: George Russell in 5th, Charles Leclerc in 4th, Oscar Piastri in 3rd, Max Verstappen in 2nd, and Lewis Hamilton in pole position. And that is an unlikely pole position for Ferrari, considering how their
Absolutely.
season have started at the moment.
He didn't even expect it himself. He
Yeah,
said what? Adami, the race engineer of Lewis Hamilton, told him San Diego, bro. San
San
Diego.
Diego, San
San
Diego,
Diego. San
San
Diego.
Diego, San
Yeah.
Diego.
That's what he said first, San Diego, and then San Diego. So San Diego apparently means pole position to them now.
Yeah, yeah,
Another
apparently.
another code name. Yeah, it went from San Diego to Delaware, bro, in one weekend. But whatever. Anyways,
that's like just racing terms with the drivers and the engineers, which we're not gonna get. So anyhow,
anyways. But it was I was very happy to see Lewis Hamilton in pole position for the sprint. I did not expect. No one expected. Not even he expected.
no, I mean
To
everyone
get pole
told McLaren
position.
we're gonna get pole position for that, but
Absolutely. I was very happy, but I want to see a pole position in the proper qualifying for the proper race.
yeah.
But nevertheless, it was good to see, and maybe it was a good sign of things to come.
And even with Leclerc, bro, that's a good effort for him to get himself into the top 3. But
Yeah.
with Verstappen and Russell, again, not too surprised with how
By the way, what a sight is that to see Hamilton and Verstappen 1 and 2.
yeah, that I mean we haven't seen that for a very long time.
What a
So
sight. The
yeah,
two titans of the sport right now.
at the moment, yeah, one for
Like
sure.
11 world championships between them.
Listen, something you could take away from last weekend is that you got a pole position in the sprint qualifying, and you've also had a fantastic sprint race, which we're gonna get into right now. So, bro, the sprint race overall, apart from the first couple of moments, not the most spectacular. Let's be honest here.
Absolutely no. Not really.
Now the sprint race was 19 laps. The start was very clean, bro. Hamilton got the better out of Verstappen. There was like a bit of a duel between Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc. Lando unfortunately had quite a poor start. He went a little bit off during turn 3, if I'm not mistaken, which dropped him down to ninth.
Yes.
There was Antonelli also made an overtake during that part. Um, Other than that, nothing much happened, bro. What do you think?
Yeah, Hamilton, Verstappen was pressing on Hamilton in the early laps, but he couldn't get an overtake in. Hamilton practically marshaled that race throughout that sprint race.
Yeah,
Hamilton marshaled that
absolutely.
sprint race, and it was like a Hamilton of old. Then Piastri made the move on Verstappen in
Mhm.
the latter stages of the race, and that was pretty much
Yeah.
it. And Hamilton
Now,
already rode off into the sunset.
yeah, no, and now on lap 7, Jack Doohan and Liam Lawson were under investigation because they had a collision, I believe, in one of the later turns of the race.
Absolutely, what a shit start to him. It
What?
sucks to be Liam Lawson at the moment.
Yeah, no, not a great. I mean, not a great time to be from New Zealand at the moment.
Oh my god.
But bro, Hamilton, as you said, rode off into the sunset. He dominated the entire sprint race, and he actually won. And he actually won the sprint race.
It was good, and
From
hopefully some momentum to build onto the race.
Yeah. Verstappen couldn't hold on to second place because Oscar Piastri did the overtake on him to get that second spot. He did it on right around lap 15 in the
Yeah,
straights, and that is just showing how quick that McLaren is at the moment, bro. I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely. That
we're just
McLaren, that McLaren. I used to say last year that Red Bull is on steroids. Actually, it's the McLaren that's on steroids
right now
apparently
with
this
how with
year.
how things are looking this season, bro. Absolutely. So, I'm not really that too surprised that we did the overtake on Max with that McLaren. His teammate unfortunately didn't had the smoothest of races, but despite that, bro, he actually got himself a point in 8th place with just a single point. Listen, it might be a point,
Yes,
but he actually got a
that
point.
could
Now
mean a lot.
Leclerc, Verstappen finished in 3rd, bro. Not much change with 4th and 5th with George Russell and Charles Leclerc. Now, bro, Leclerc actually had a problem in turn 13. He said that the car was
Yeah, the car was
undrivable
undrivable.
and he
The car was
couldn't
undrivable.
turn the car at all. But despite that, bro, he still got a couple of points in the bag for his team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least I don't know how, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Regarding that, bro, not much changed as well. Yuki Tsunoda in 6, Kimi Antonelli in 7, and as I said, Lando Norris getting that final point in 8. Sainz unfortunately had an issue where he had to make a pit stop with that. But bro,
Yeah,
other than that, yeah, not the best sprint
for
race.
not the best sprint race. At least we were about to see maybe Ferrari building momentum onto the weekend, but
The worst is yet to come, and this is the perfect
on
time.
to the qualifying.
On to the qualifying, and this is the perfect time to tell you guys that if this is your first time listening to this podcast, make sure to follow us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and for our listeners, make sure to follow us on Spotify and with that rating. Liam Lawson, back-to-back 20th, bro. I mean, he's even
I,
worse. He's even worse than Gasly, and bro.
he may be the worst out of everyone, out of after Ricardo. Just with these two races,
I mean,
he got out qualified by a Sauber again.
and a fucking Haas.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
But listen, is he that bad, or is the car not built
I
to
don't
his
listen.
capabilities? I have no idea, bro. Honestly.
I don't want to say that the driver is bad because I believe that there's no driver even more worse than Mazepin. I don't want to believe that.
But
I
listen,
very don't want to believe.
Mazepin was not driving a Red Bull. He was driving a Haas. So
Yeah, he
I'm
was
not
driving.
really.
Yeah, he was driving a Haas, and yet he was 2 seconds slower than the competition. At
But
least
this
Liam
is
Lawson is there or thereabouts with the times. I don't want to say that Lawson is a bad driver. No, I believe that Red Bull car is just a monster to drive.
he's a fantastic singer, though.
Yeah, apparently,
Apparently, he's
allegedly.
a fantastic singer. But the same can't be
Yeah.
said with his team. So
Oh, he's singing all the high notes whilst driving that Red Bull, bro. He hitting all the high notes.
but listen. I knew that he was gonna struggle in that Red Bull, but not this bad. I mean,
No, no.
not this bad, bro. I mean, a
Maybe,
back-to-back
maybe,
Q1
maybe,
exits.
I expected him to be in the midfield, maybe, but
Not
bro,
in not in the lower end of the grid, bro. I mean,
that's back to back Q1 exits. Back to back like Drake, bro. Nah, this ain't it, Chief.
no, it's
This ain't
terrible.
it.
Because listen, I'm looking at the drivers who go knocked out in Q1. I'm not really too surprised because we had Gabriel Bortoleto getting knocked out. We had Jack Doohan. We had Oliver Behrman, who was a bit unlucky because who after getting a fantastic result in sprint qualifying and in the race, it's a bit disappointing. Pierre Gasly in 16th. But bro, Liam Lawson again in those spots, it's unacceptable for a team like Red Bull, to be honest.
Absolutely. Shouldn't even be considered. Shouldn't even thought about of having a Red Bull driver in those places. Maybe in the beginning when they first got into the sport back in 2006, I believe.
Yeah.
But not now, bro. When they bought Jaguar. Back then. Not now. Like Liam Lawson, listen. To me, they still made a mistake that should have been Tsunoda, and now Tsunoda might be rubbing his hands right now like Birdman. He's rubbing
But
his
they're
hands
making.
right now.
I'm gonna get to because his future is looking very very in doubt. By the way, because but with that I'm gonna be talking about after we talk about the race and we get into our drive of the day, our awards for the entire race. But I'm shocked at how much Liam Lawson is struggling with his team at the moment. Yeah.
He can't get to grips. It's still early on. But I believe they still need to give him a
I
chance.
I don't think he's Red Bull worthy though at the moment. Listen, I would give him a couple more. I would give him a few more races, but this is nowhere near good enough, bro,
Absolutely,
for the team he's driving there. So
absolutely.
but with regards to the other drivers, Gabe Bortoleto, Jack Doohan, Oliver Bernard, and Pierre Gasly, yeah, disappointing with the Alpine. It's looking very very off the pace at the moment, as we said.
Just like they
But
started last year.
not too surprised with that. Q2, Carlos Sainz in 15th again. I think the chassis could be the reason why he's struggling at the moment, and it's still very early days. But yeah, that's not where we want to see our favorite Chile there at the moment. So yeah, 15th place for Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
Um, in 14th and 13th, we have the two Aston Martins, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso. Disappointing considering they finished in the lower end of top 10 at the top 10 positions. So um, not great for us for that team. Uh, Nico Hulkenberg and Twed with the Sauber. I mean, pretty much him and his
Even better.
teammates swapping places with the sprint qualifying and with this. So, a very, very decent effort for him. Esteban Ocon in 11th with the Haas. That is, I mean, considering that he's driving a Haas, it's a
That's pretty
great
good. That is pretty good.
that that is a very very solid effort for Ocon. Alex Albin in 10th again, another Q3 back-to-back Q3 appearances for him. Excellent stuff, and his race was even better. Yuki
Same with
Tsunoda in
Tsunoda, no?
same with Tsunoda in 9, not as good as the sprint qualifying. I mean, a position less than the sprint qualifying, but that is a great effort for him. Kimi Antonelli in 8, very, very similar to his performance in qualifying, so I'm not going to go too much in depth with that.
And
Bro,
yeah,
you said early on Isaac Hajar in 7th.
absolutely. I was very impressed. To see the two racing bulls there in Q3 was already impressive, but to see Isaac Hajar, that
Yeah,
is a great
and
bounce back.
that should have been the other way around with the two Red Bulls, but that we didn't got that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, with Isaac Hajar, fantastic, bro. That is a fantastic effort. For a rookie to get himself into the top 10 places. So at least it's not just Antonelli who's making the efforts there. So a fantastic effort. The two Ferraris, bro, Charles Leclerc in 6th and Hamilton in
Where,
5th.
bro? Where did the pace go?
Yeah,
Where did the pace go, man? That's what I was asking myself. That was the only genuine question I was asking myself in qualifying. Where has the pace gone? Not even third or fourth, or second and third, fifth and sixth. Where did the pace go?
but I don't. Were you expecting? I mean, were you expecting that you were going to end up there, considering that the Mercedes and one of the Red Bulls and both McLarens are faster than your team at the moment? I don't know. This might be my thoughts,
I
but
was expecting to maybe swap positions with George Russell and Max Verstappen at least.
all right, fair
At
enough, I
least.
guess.
Lewis Hamilton just got a sprint pole. Where has the pace gone?
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. But whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So Verstappen in 4th, a little bit underwhelming for him that as he wished that he could find himself in the top 3 spots. But yeah, 4th place, just missing out with just a couple seconds behind Lando Norris, who got 3rd place. George Russell in 2nd, and Oscar Piastri in pole position. I mean, again, fantastic, fantastic effort for the team.
And bro, Piastri is a gangster, you know why? So he set the fastest
Yeah.
lap in the first lap into Q3 and went on to improve his own lap time.
Listen,
That's
I
a
mean,
gangster move.
listen,
Yeah, that's a gangster move.
he's not there to feel like a luxury seat as a second driver. He's
Yeah.
there just like Lando. He looks like at the early stages he looks like he's gonna give a good fight for the championship. And if you want to if you want to make a good fight, that is how we have to respond with these performances. So yeah, first and third, very very happy. We're pretty much following suit with what happened in Melbourne. Not exactly with the 1-2, but the race was a completely different story with that. With George Russell, bro, that is an excellent
That's
result
very
for
good.
him. That's an
George
excellent
Russell,
result.
George, he's
Sorry,
keeping
bro,
his
because
show
you did.
together at the moment. So,
Sorry, bro, you disconnected a little bit there.
oh, apologies.
What you were saying?
I told you that. Does George Russell have what it takes to be the lead Mercedes, just like he said?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
reckon.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And he's showing it. And I mean,
I
questions
reckon.
were asked about his leadership this season, and he's showing it during the early stages. So, a fantastic result for him. Again, the fact that he outqualified Max is already a great result. But yeah, overall, bro, with your team, you're
Yeah.
a little bit disappointed as expected, but with not with mine, complete opposite. Very, very happy with that. And now
And
we get
the worst was yet to come.
and now we get into the race, bro. You wanna talk about the race start, bro, and how the race panned out? Since I talked about the sprint race, what do you think?
It was a pretty clean start. Not much going on. A couple jostling for positions here and there.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best of races neither. I mean, Oscar Piastri practically dominated
Yeah.
the race as expected. Um, Norris had a pretty slow pit stop, which might have hindered his race, but it turned out it wasn't the case at all.
And it was his brake
There was
issue as
Ollie
well, bro.
Behrman. Tell me again.
He also Lando also had a brake issue towards the end of the race, so that costed him the win, basically.
Understood. Ollie Behrman, I was very impressed with Ollie Behrman. He was storming to the midfield. Kimi
Yeah.
Antonelli as well. He was very good. Other than that, it was all right. I was pretty disappointed with Ferrari again in the race. With certain strategies, with how they were doing certain things.
You
But
collided on lap
again,
one. You
the
collided
worst
on
was
lap
yet to
one.
come.
You collided on lap one as well.
Huh?
You had a collision on lap one
Bro,
as well.
like instantly. Collision on lap one. They would come to Leclerc went into the back of Hamilton.
Yeah.
Pause. And for the entirety of the race, Leclerc had this a bit of his front wing teared off. Worse than that, Tsunoda, bro. Tsunoda's like moment was very strange. Like he
Yeah.
was in the slipstream. I forgot which car it was, but he was in the slipstream of on the start finish straight, and his front wing just broke.
And that cost his race, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he had to finish plumb last, bro.
Unlike your team, bro. He was very he was very unlucky. I don't want to piss you off, bro, but
Don't go there, please.
no, but we only had
Don't cry,
one. We only had one retirement, and that was Fernando Alonso, bro. Back to back DNFs. That is he. Listen, we know that he's been in the sport for a very very long time, but this has been a really disastrous start to the season. He's been very unlucky. He's been very unlucky, to be fair.
This may be his worst start to a season.
I think the last time he had a similar start to this was back with us with McLaren back in 2015, where we had that abysmal car with the GP2 engine vibes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the last time he had a similar start to this. So, but the difference is that he had issues with his car. He also had a crash as well in Melbourne. So yeah, not the start that he had hoped for. Bro, other than that, it was a very uneventful race. But
yeah, it was pretty uneventful.
listen,
It's normally not that eventful in Shanghai.
and yeah, Shanghai. To be honest, bro, Shanghai has always it's always had this history of having very underwhelming races and this was no exception. But listen, bro, I ain't gonna complain because we had another
back-to-back wins.
We had another superb race, bro. Back-to-back wins, and not only that, bro, a 1-2. With Oscar Piastri in first and Lando Norris in second. Let's start with Oscar Piastri, bro. What a performance! Completely
Absolutely.
dominated the entire race. He looked untroubled. The stops were all spot on.
Listen, how Lando Norris was last week in Australia.
They basically swapped roles, exactly. So, but this is a statement. This is a statement win for Oscar Piastri because he's shocked. Because as I said early on in this episode, he's looking like he's gonna give it a good shot this year for the championship alongside Lando Norris.
The only thing that's stopping him is the team,
and that's my worry because my only concern with this season, because the car is there, the car is the MCL 39, it is there 100%.
Let's not forget when Mercedes were on top and there was Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that Piastri is like Valtteri Bottas, a second driver. To me, Piastri is more than that.
100%. No.
To me, he's more than that. But I still firmly believe that McLaren are going to give the first priority to Lando Norris.
But listen, I think I can speak for every single McLaren fan. We are blessed to have two unbelievable drivers like Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in the team, bro. Because the talent for both drivers is 100% there to be seen. Now, a friend of mine, bro, told me that Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris are basically Rosberg and Hamilton 2.0, and I 100% disagree on that. So
Nah, bro, that's a reach.
that is
Bro, that's a
way
reach.
too early, bro. I mean,
Shout
James,
out to your friend.
yeah, bro, James, if you're listening to this, bro, no, I disagree with that 100%.
Listen. Shout out to this guy James. I hope you're doing well, my guy.
Yeah.
But that's a reach, bro.
No, I
That is a
disagree.
reach.
I disagree with that one, bro,
How,
100%.
there's no way you can compare even the egos of Nico Rosberg and Lewis
Yeah,
Hamilton to Lando Norris and Oscar
yeah,
Piastri. There's
exactly.
just no way. There's just no way.
No. Their egos,
I can
the
see where
egos are completely
I can see
different.
where he's coming from. I can see where your friend is
Yeah.
coming from, but that's a reach.
No, 100%. 100% that is a reach.
That's an NBA reach, bro. No
But
way.
no, bro. Going back to Piastri, a fantastic performance.
Absolutely.
He has showed. And listen, and something that I love about this guy so much is that for his age, the guy looks so composed. He looks so mature. He knows he's very calm as well. I mean,
He's very chill.
and that's something that world championship drivers have, that composure. And if he is gonna give it a good shot for the championship this season, he needs to consistently show that every single week with that maturity and that composure. And
Yeah.
he has showed that in China. So a very, very well deserved win. And his teammate also, bro, superb. A break issue, a break issue with his car late on in the race compromises his victory. But I can't complain, bro. A 1-2 finish. We're on top with 78 points during with the season. Both drivers scoring significant points. It's a great time to be a McLaren fan, bro. Ain't gonna lie, and it's about fucking time we're on top, bro. Because look, bro, it's been such a long time since we've been the cream of the top, basically. So I'm so impressed with the team at the moment, bro. That MCL 39, it's a rocket ship at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, what the Red Bull was last year on steroids is the McLaren this year.
Yes, 100%. And bro, very similar. George Russell in third place, bro. Again, he is showing that leadership role, and a third place for him is a great result. And Mercedes are having a very solid start to the season. I
It's a
mean,
solid start. It's a solid start, especially with the help of Antonelli.
yeah,
Like now we can see why Toto Wolff really highly rated this guy.
yeah. And speaking of Antonelli, bro, sixth place. Now, the before we get into Antonelli's performance, bro, why was he awarded driver of the day? I mean, can you please tell me what this guy did to get that award?
I
Seriously.
wish I had the answer to tell you, but I don't know. But even he was surprised he got the driver of the day.
Yeah.
Apologies. That's all I can say.
No, exactly. But no, bro, Antonelli, bro, listen, not as good as last weekend in Melbourne, which again
But
is
still solid.
which is to be expected because he's still a rookie, but very
Still
solid,
solid.
very very solid, bro. There's a reason why Toto Wolff highly rates this kid, and it's there to be seen. So with his
Yeah.
performance, so
And there's something about him, bro. There's something about him that reminds me of Valentino Rossi. I don't know what it is.
mm,
There's
so
something about him. I don't know if it's because he's Italian or his hair. There's something about him, bro. Listen, I really hope that he becomes a legend like Valentino Rossi. I really do hope.
good. Listen. I mean, to be like Valentino Rossi is a bit of a far stretch because Valentino Rossi is a
And
nine-time MotoGP champion, so
and it's practically the best MotoGP rider
of
the
all
sport has
time,
ever seen.
of all time. So
Yeah.
a bit of a far
But there's
stretch.
something
So
about him. I hope that he reaches that level, if not in terms of championships, at least in terms of, stature,
yeah,
name. I really do hope, because Formula One is a different league compared to MotoGP. But then digress, we continue.
yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Um, Max Verstappen in fourth, just like he started the race. Not the
Where he
worst result,
started.
not the worst result, not the best result. But listen, unlike his teammate, that's some decent points in the back for Red Bull. Again, unlike his teammate, so but that is obviously showing how great of a driver Max is by driving such an underperforming
I'm
car.
convinced. I'm convinced that if you put Max Verstappen even in a Sauber, he'll still somehow score points.
Yeah,
That's how good of a driver he is.
exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
convinced.
And he's shown it straight away, basically. So I'm not that too surprised. For me, if not him, his teammate for driver of the day, Esteban Ocon in fifth, bro, with the Haas. And for Haas, it was a fantastic weekend. I mean, silly old me for predicting them to finish at the bottom of the grid, and that's not looking too great because both
Absolutely.
Haas's scoring big points. 10 points with Esteban Ocon in place and Oliver Behrman with 4 points in eighth place. Bro, this was no fluke. Again, what happened with your team and one of the Alpines? We're gonna get to very quickly. That obviously that he obviously benefited from that
That
result, but it's a fantastic result for Haas,
absolutely
bro.
that
Fifth and eighth,
that's double points. That's
double
double points for
points.
them.
And no one predicted them. They were gonna be finishing in the top 10. Absolutely not. So what fantastic. Yeah, I mean, no fluke, bro. They commanded. They had a clear strategy with the race. They strategized it perfectly, bro. So
Ocon
great
has been
result.
looking decent in the Haas. Ocon has been looking decent.
And not, but for me, Oliver Behrman has been even more impressive, bro. Yes, he
Absolutely,
finished below him,
absolutely.
but very
Which
very
to me,
impressive.
which to me, Ollie Behrman. You said Ocon should have been your driver of the day. I would go with Ollie Behrman for driver of the day.
It could go to either one of them, bro. To be honest, so
Ollie Behrman was out here overtaking people, and he was giving them the chow.
with Liam Lawson, yeah, exactly. I was.
Bro, do you know how? Do you know how
That's cold.
ridiculous?
That's cold. That's cold.
Not just cold, but bro, imagine yourself as Liam Lawson. You're getting chowed
It
by a
sucks.
Haas, bro.
I mean, it sucks to be a Kiwi at the moment, bro. So
Bro, you're getting chowed by a
by a
by a
fucking Haas,
Haas.
by a fucking Haas, man.
No disrespect to
Seriously,
Haas, but bro, you're
nah.
driving a Red Bull and you're out here getting dusted by a
Yeah,
Haas. Man,
it sucks to be Liam Lawson at the moment, bro. So unlucky.
unfortunately for him.
Um, Equally impressive, bro. Is Alex Albon in seven now, and in just two races, bro. He has outscored his points tally from last season. I mean, you couldn't.
And
He
again,
and again you cannot have a better start than that with the Williams, bro. And it's
and
great to see that, bro.
and again, brilliant tire management from him.
Yeah.
Again, bro. He's becoming the tire management god, not
Not,
god,
not, not,
god,
not time,
bro.
not just the time management gout, by the way, but yeah. Sorry, that was bad. Pause about that.
Don't trip.
But listen, the guy has always been super talented, bro. Listen,
Absolutely.
that Red Bull stint was a bit of a setback for him.
He found his home. He
But
found
he
his home
but
in
he has
Williams.
found but he has found his form with Williams, and it's great to see that. So
And listen, with him, Sainz, and James Vowles,
yeah,
the ever ecstatic James Vowles,
yeah,
they form a great team. They form a great
exactly,
team for me.
exactly. And finishing up the top 10, bro, Lance Stroll in ninth with 2 points, and
That's
Carlos
Lance
Sainz in 10th with the solitary point. Now,
again. Williams double points. Lance Stroll with his villain arc.
yeah, Williams with double points and Lance Stroll getting more points in the back. However, bro, they originally those drivers finished outside the top 10. But what happened after the race? Because the two Ferraris of Hamilton and Leclerc alongside Gasly, they did finish in the top 10. However, they got disqualified for Gasly and Leclerc for having their cars being underweight, and for Lewis Hamilton for excessive tire wear, if I'm not mistaken. But bro, this is a first for any team to have a double disqualification. But I'm sorry, I've said this before we record this episode. This is on the team, 100% on the team. How the hell can you how can you not notice these things before the race, bro? This is 100% on the team. Listen, the rules are the rules. You can say anything you want about the FIA. They have their fair share of problems, but rules are rules, bro, and you have to respect those rules and you have to follow the rules. Heads have to roll in whoever is responsible for the for Ferrari's strategization and with how they strategize their races, bro, because they've been repeating these mistakes in Arriva Bene, since Arriva Bene, since Arriva Bene, bro. Honestly, you look like you don't have any energy to talk about this segment, do you? Oh man, it's it's I'm baffled, honestly. Do you have anything to say, bro?
Let me compose myself. Give me a second,
Oh, oh,
please.
no, there's gonna be a rant here.
Give me a second. Yeah. I don't want to rant. I really don't want to. I really don't want to. I came in today with a good mood, with good spirits, with a clear mind. You're right. The rules are rules. The FIA has its fair share of problems. Totally agree with what they did. But do you have, bro? I swear to God, to make those sort of mistakes here. Not even in the amateur series they make those kind of mistakes. They don't even make those mistakes in the amateur racing series. The embarrassment, bro, and the audacity to then release a statement on social media apologizing. The only people you should be apologizing. I don't know
Are the
to the
fans,
drivers, to the
bro?
driver, to the fans, but to the drivers for that embarrassment. Generally, I was lost for words. I was generally Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, picture this,
The disrespect on
bro,
Lewis Hamilton, bro. That,
bro,
I
bro,
mean,
my guy. Picture this here. You're Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world. Let me readjust myself. My head's gone. You're 7-time world champion. Yeah, you're a 7-time world champion.
I knew
You
you were gonna
broke.
get. I knew you. Sorry to interrupt you. I knew you were gonna get at it with this point, bro. Because it's honestly, if you
Do you know how
for any
embarrassing it
Ferrari fan,
is?
it's fucking embarrassing, bro.
Do you know
Seriously.
how embarrassing it is? Now look, I did expect Ferrari to finish second to McLaren, to be competitive to McLaren. Did I expect Ferrari to compete for the championship? Hell no!
Bro, you can still get second place though. We're still early on in the season, but
I still expect that.
nevertheless,
I still expect that. I still expect that. But for us to finish, to genuinely compete for the title, hell no! Hell no! Because I know my team. I know the bullshit. And it gets worse season by season, bro. I can't deal with it
but
anymore.
Mike, bro, how the fuck can you not learn from these mistakes, bro? Because I think that did they didn't do a proper inspection with the car before race day?
Bro,
How can you not?
I got my head's gone, bro. I'm sorry, my head's
No,
gone.
no, no.
My head's gone.
I
Listen,
get you, bro, because
listen.
it's
Let me
very
compose myself.
unacceptable.
Let me compose myself. The audacity to then release a statement. Do you know how embarrassing, bro? Picture this here. This is what I was about to say. You're Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion.
Yeah.
One of the best, if not the best, driver, sorry, the sport has ever seen. You join the luxurious, the amazing, the team that has been around for a long time. Hell, the team that has been there the most in the whole entirety of Formula One, Ferrari. You broke all the records possible, all the great records possibly. And the first record you break with Ferrari is a negative one. You win in one weekend, you win a sprint and you get disqualified, bro. How the fuck?
He won a sprint race at least.
But how do you? It's-
That's on the
bro,
team, bro. That's on the team,
bro,
bro.
but that's on the team. That's on the team. But that's embarrassing for him. The first record he breaks
Is on the opposite side.
is a negative. Oh,
That's so
bro,
Ferrari. That is typical Ferrari, by the
oh,
way.
come.
To be honest, listen, jokes aside, listen, obviously I'm enjoying it because my team
Go
is
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, here, then. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
no, listen,
Honestly,
I'm on the opposite sense because obviously my team is doing is the best of the track at the moment. But listen, all jokes aside, it's generally embarrassing to not even to not number one not even do a proper inspection of the car. Number two, to release that statement, fucking shameless, bro.
nah, unreal, bro,
Shamelessness,
unreal.
bro. The
The
shamelessness
same.
these guys
By the,
have. It's insane.
all that hype in preseason, all those videos,
But it's
the
every
fancy
season,
pictures.
bro. It's every season. You always make this shit ton of hype
But
in
listen,
every single season,
listen.
and then you do a Tottenham pretty much in football terms.
Just like I said, did I expect to come second behind McLaren?
No,
Yes. Did I expect for us to compete for the title? Hell no.
no,
I did not expect it.
no,
So
absolutely.
much so, I didn't even expect Hamilton to get a sprint pole, let alone a sprint win. I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I was genuinely surprised. But it's just embarrassing. They don't even make those mistakes in the amateur racing series, bro.
100%.
They don't make those kind of
And
mistakes.
listen,
And to
bro.
make that at the pinnacle of motorsport, I don't wish bad on no one. I
No,
don't
no.
wish bad on no one.
We don't wish bad omens on anyone, bro. Not just you.
But bro, even from the first race, Adami, the fucking dick, the fucking prick, he was telling Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, on how and when to use the freaking K1 button, which apparently the K1 button is the overtake button. He was telling him when to use it, bro. He's Lewis Hamilton. What the
audacity, the audacity, bro. The audacity to do that.
I'm not
Bro,
saying you shouldn't give advice. Give advice.
And listen, bro. I think just to obviously wrap up a little bit on the race because I'm looking at the time here. Bro, Ferrari instantly losers of the day. There's no arguments.
Oh,
There's no arguments with that.
Losers, clowns, pricks, dickheads,
Anyway,
every negative adjective under the
the
sun.
only
My head's gone, Jan. My head's gone, bro.
No, you look absolutely ratted. You look. I mean, right on the ram though. Not gonna lie.
Guys, apologies, okay? Apologies. It's just bullshit, bro.
No,
You
but
try
listen.
to be in a good mood, in a great
No,
state
no,
of
absolutely,
mind,
absolutely.
and then these freaking dick.
And listen, God forbid they repeat the same mistake in Suzuka coming in that next week. I mean,
I'm calling it right now, yeah? You're hearing me loud and clear, aren't you? I'm calling it right now. If the same shit happens at Suzuka, I'm not gonna watch Formula One anymore.
we'll wait and see for that. But listen, bro.
If this shit happens, I swear to God, I quit sport. I quit Formula One.
Listen, bro.
I won't
Listen,
buy
bro.
the.
Hold on.
I won't even buy the new F125 game, which has Lewis Hamilton as the iconic Egyptian cover.
I ain't even buying it, to be honest. So,
But I buy it every year. But if the same shit happens, I retire.
No. But anyhow, bro, listen,
Continue.
Ferrari deservedly losers of the day. But if I look at the other contenders, you could give it to Pierre Gasly. But obviously, the spotlight is going to be on Ferrari 100%. Because of obviously the drivers they have on their talent.
But Jan, look at my face.
No. I get you, bro. But no, with Pierre Gasly, bro, very quickly, bro, Alpine still scoreless throughout the entire season. That's what they were hoping for. And again, the only driver I can think of that could be a good shot for loser of the day is Liam Lawson, bro. 15th place. Yeah, listen, he may at least not finish at the bottom of the grid, but terrible, bro. Absolutely terrible. And apparently, bro, we're speaking about Yuki Tsunoda. Their rumors are circulating like wildfire that Liam Lawson could be replaced by Yuki Tsunoda as the second Red Bull driver come next week in Suzuka. We could get an announcement by the time this episode. We could get an announcement by the time we finish off from this episode, bro.
The only thing that's left is an official announcement.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's left.
Exactly. But yeah, Ferrari 100% losers of the day, bro. For driver of the day or winners of the day, bro, you could give it to Oscar Piastri, and it could be a deserved driver of the day. Again, Kimi Antonelli, nothing against the kid, but what did he actually do to get the award? Yeah, for me, it could either go for Ollie Behrman or Esteban Ocon.
The guy started P17 and finished P8.
I would go with Esteban Ocon. You would go. Let's make it a bit equal.
I would go with Oliver
Behrman. I would go with Esteban Ocon. Haas are the winners, 100%.
Absolutely.
Even Williams are a good shout as well, but no, deserved. Bro, for the dick of the day and for my clown of the day, I'm also going with Ollie Behrman with the chow. That could be that's a decent shout.
Dick of the
What's
day?
your pick?
A dick of the day. Listen, he was giving it to Lawson though, so is it really a dick move? I'd say deserved.
Deserved, yeah.
I'm gonna say deserved. Clowns of the day, bro.
Ferrari. Yeah.
Let's
not get into that. Yeah, guys. So that is the Shanghai Grand Prix, guys. We'll get into our top 10. We're not going to go through the entire field, but we'll get into the top 10 because the table now is starting to take a little bit of shape. Not exactly. I know we're a little bit too early, but The standings look something like this. Lando Norris on top with 44 points. Max Verstappen in second with 36 points. George Russell just a point behind him with 35 points. The same with Oscar Piastri in fourth with 34 points. Kimi Antonelli in fifth with 22 points. Alex Albon in sixth with 16 points. That's very impressive for him, considering with the team is driving. Same goes with Esteban Ocon in seventh, and Lance Stroll in eighth with 10 points. And the two Ferraris with Hamilton and Leclerc with 9 points and 8 points in 10. Bro, to get fucking outscored by an Aston Martin, Williams, and a Haas.
Teams, young teams. I don't want to hear it today.
I'm enjoying this, man. I'm enjoying this so much.
Fuck you, honestly.
I am fucking shameless. We need to wash our bit of our mouths here with this one, guys. But anyhow, McLaren.
I don't care.
No, same here. YouTube can do what the hell they want with censorship, but we're gonna keep everything as we are, bro, because we are fucking shameless.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
By the way, all jokes aside, apologies for the swearing.
No. Just
swearing. That's what being a Ferrari fan makes you do.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But I mean, our younger audience could be listening to this podcast, so we need to keep it a little bit clean.
To the younger guys, don't support Ferrari.
Nah, there are a lot of teams. I mean, with that, bro. But anyhow,
support Cadillac.
Because the new team heading for next season.
Because that team that doesn't even exist yet is better than us.
Yeah, exactly. No. Sorry about that, guys. Anyhow, our constructors look something like this. McLaren on top with 78 points. Mercedes in second with 57 points. Red Bull in third with 36 points. Williams and Ferrari tied in fourth place with 17 points. Haas in sixth with 14 points. Aston Martin in seventh with 10 points. Sauber in eighth with 6 points. Racing Bulls with 3 points in ninth. And Alpine remains scoreless at the bottom of the grid. Anyhow, that's it, guys. That's it for this episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate your support with every single episode. Our next episode is gonna be in a couple of weeks' time, where we head to Suzuka in Japan, one of our all-time favorite tracks for me personally. So we can't wait for that track coming up in the coming weeks. And with that, we're gonna sign off. Hope you have a good rest of the good. Hope you have a good end to the rest of this week. And with that, we'll see you for the next one, guys.
Deuce, we out. Thank you.
We out.
Peace.
Okie. Proset, bro.
Proset and to call CFB.
Proset and to call. Għandek kemm rajt li Tobi